Hi book friends, I'm Erin, and this is Erin Go Read. I was gonna try to do this wrap-up video without my sunglasses on, but basically in order for you not to be looking into the light, I have to be looking into the light, and it's just not happening. I'm still squinting even with the sunglasses on, but it is such a beautiful day outside, and I mowed my lawn yesterday in the backyard, and it's so peaceful and lovely back here right now. I thought we would do the February wrap up out here in the backyard. February was not a great, I was gonna say reading month. It was really not a great month for me at all, but I did not get a lot read either. So I read one book for the BookTube prize, which I won't be mentioning in this video, and then 3 other books. So the first one was Chinua Achebe's Things Fall Apart. This is the first book in the African trilogy. It takes place in Nigeria before British colonization has started, and we follow Okonkwo and in his tribe and within his family, and it starts out just very slow and quiet, just learning about their customs, their beliefs, the spiritual gods that they have, the way that kind of relations work between if a crime is committed kind of within the tribe or between tribes. And it's quite interesting, slow look at culture. And then we have, not until toward the end of the book, do we get the first appearance of white men, and it starts off with missionaries, Christian missionaries. So I imagine that as the trilogy goes on, that the next 2 books will have more to do with the effect of colonization on the Africans. I quite enjoyed it, but I feel like it's not super sticking with me. I gave it initially 4 stars, but I think it's more of a 3.5 for me, kind of in its stickiness and its overall effect. Maybe, and I would like to read the whole trilogy, so maybe as a whole it would feel stickier for me. I just didn't have kind of the emotional draw to it that I really need in order to really make a story stick with me. So that was Things Fall Apart. And that was one of the books that I wanted to read for, it's on the BBC's top 100 books that shaped our world. I think that it's a really cumbersome title, that one, and in the PBS Great American Read. So it was one of kind of the canon books that I wanted to get to, so I'm happy to check that one off the list. Then I read and adored Olive Kitteridge by Elizabeth Strout. Olive, again, the sequel to this is on the BookTube prize long list, and so I wanted to get to it sooner than later. And I adored this book. I love Olive Strout's writing. I love Elizabeth Strout's writing. I love Olive Kitteridge, the character. So this is a series of short stories, connected short stories. Some of the chapters are from Olive's perspective about her and her life and whatever is going on. Olive is a large, brash, opinionated, prickly character, and the other chapters, and as Elizabeth Strout says, you need a bit of a break from Olive. So we have other chapters from different characters' perspectives, different people in her town. She lives in a small town in coastal Maine, and it'll be about this other person's story. And then at some point, and sometimes in a more meaningful way than others, Olive will show up in the story, and we'll get some sort of sense of the impact that Olive has had on this person. And Olive is a retired school teacher, so she taught math to many of the now adults in the community. We look at life in a small town. We look at the aging process, what it means in multi-dimensions to age, to have aging children who are no longer children and are now adults and making their own life choices, loneliness and disappointments that come in life, as well as the small joys that are there as well. 5 stars. I absolutely love this. I can see this being like a perennial favorite. I think I will read this many times in the future. And finally, we have Margaret Atwood's The Testaments. This is the sequel to The Handmaid's Tale, of course. I listened to this via audiobook, and I really enjoy it. I think I mentioned this in my vlog, but I think that this book started off with a good head of steam until the Booker Prize was announced, and when it co-won the Booker Prize with Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo, it kind of took the shine and shown negative attention on it rather than being able to appreciate it as a good work of fiction, and adding to Margaret Atwood's legacy. I haven't read Girl, Woman, Other yet, but I plan to, and from what I understand, it should have won outright, but that should have no bearing on this book and the quality of this book. So in this book, we follow three main characters. If you've read The Handmaid's Tale, you know who Aunt Lydia is. So she's someone who is within Gilead, in the part of kind of the leading officials of Gilead. Then we follow a woman who is in Gilead, and we follow a woman who's in Canada. So we get perspectives from all three of these women, and it's a very different book. It's a very different reading experience, I think, than The Handmaid's Tale, and which I think is great. She's not going to be able to reproduce The Handmaid's Tale, and she probably shouldn't try. I really enjoyed The Testaments, and I gave it 4 stars. These are the books I finished in the month of February. Let me know if you've read any of these, what your thoughts are on them, or if you're now interested in reading any of these. Thank you for watching. See you around the tubes.